remember, once you feel like your identity has been affirmed in this way,
Right.
the other arguments are really secondary.
Right. You don't need reason when you have that thing that is most meaningful to you.
And they've given a lot more attention to the Edomite-Israelite relationship than to other nations. And what I did just now is I gave you the Edomites and Moabites because, to my knowledge, those are out of the 18 nations of Gentile heathen nations who are non-elect, whatever. Those are the ones that are most fleshed out. The Edomite one and the Moabite one. The others are much less fleshed out. Like for Arabs, they kind of just say, well, the Ishmael, everyone knows Arabs are Ishmaelites.
In other words, they don't have as detailed of an explanation within their
the others are even
community.
less than the two. Edom could go on for a while. They have a lot for Edom, supposedly.
Okay.
But they just haven't given as much thought, and it's just not as important. So there's two of the Gentile nations that they assign.
So basically what we have is we have no attention at all to the original context of Scripture. There's no interest in really looking at it for what it means, especially again in its own context, because all of these things, were reflective and happened in real-time, boots on the ground in antiquity. These are real-time events, even in the biblical storyline. Edom and all that kind of stuff. So that isn't something that the Black Israelite thing really cares about. What they care about is it's this correlation and causation fallacy. And all of that is secondary to the identity that this gives them.
Yes.
That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, and that's a powerful motivating
factor.
factor.
It is. It is. It honestly is. And if other communities, i.e., let's just be blunt here, if the Christian community has not adequately addressed that need for these people, then we can't blame them. We have to blame us.
Right.
That's what it comes down to.
A lot of these new alternative spiritualities in the city context do that kind of thing. So the Kemetic folks say our ancestors are in Egypt, and Moorish temple science does something different. Nation of Islam is the lost tribe of Shabazz from Mecca. They
the historic cults do this too. This is community building. So.
But it's interesting, a true understanding of actual biblical Christianity would actually allow a person to retain their African identity and be proud of it. Now, it's a shame a lot of people held the name of Christ, and America did literally the opposite. And it's a real travesty to what's went down. And they got the curse of Ham and all this kind of nonsense going on, or the curse of Cain.
It's bad biblical interpretation. We've actually done episodes on Fringe Pop on those topics.
Oh, I'd love to see those.
It's just terrible biblical interpretation.
And it's sad, and it's created a problem. And so a true biblical understanding, though, would allow you to, in fact, the first Gentile convert is in the book of Acts is an Ethiopian. I was reading the other day, and a guy was like, "Oh, it's Cornelius in Acts 10." I'm like, "Why is he saying Cornelius? What about Philip with the Ethiopian eunuch?" That's the first Gentile convert that I see in the New Testament under the New Covenant. Like, and you have Acts 13. You have someone from Cyrene and someone called Niger, which means black. Like, you have this there, and you have people from Alexandria, which is in Egypt, which is Africa. Like, you have plenty of places to go to say, this is a religion for all people.
There's a long heritage.
And there's not an ethnic hierarchy in it, unlike Hebrew Israelism.
Right.
So, but...
Well, thanks for, unpacking some of that. I mean, I know some of it was funny, but it's actually pretty serious, when you get right down to it.
And it affects people's real lives. People's marriages are getting destroyed over this, Mike. There are churches that are being flipped into Hebrew Israelite churches, and there's some kind of weird hybrid. Churches that are getting split in half. If we did a test, we could share a bunch of horror stories on this if we wanted. But since we've been doing this ministry, me and a bunch of people I work with, sometimes calls ourselves the Shield Squad, and there's other related ministries, Soldiers of God, have seen a lot of people also come out, because now they're finally hearing new information, and they have a place to turn to talk about their experience. So it's not all bad, but the church can't go to sleep on this.
All right, well, thanks again, and we'll have you back one more time, because I want to discuss one other thing, again, that's really important in relation to their doctrine, things that we need to be aware of. So thanks for watching Fringe Pop 321 again. Please visit our website at fringepop321.com. We try to direct people to good information on the topics that we do here. All the episodes have corresponding websites where you can get good information, peer-reviewed material, things that will elevate the discussion, we hope, for whatever topic it is we're talking about.